Really good stretch up through this glute, all the way into the top into what we call piriformis. I want you to think about pushing this hip back and leaning over that hamstring. No, I'm just awkwardly staring at you through my armpit. What is going on, my friends? Welcome back to another Workout Wednesday, or whatever day it is that you're watching this. Last week we went through a full dynamic warm-up, aka you're not touching your toes to warm up for whatever exercise you have in store. So this week I want to run you through 5 cool down static stretches. Your cool down should be a little bit less time than your warm-up, obviously, just to get those muscles engaged again to cool down and recover properly. With that said, I'm gonna run you through my 5 favorite cool down stretches. Right here, we're not gonna go for any time. I suggest you going for about 2 sets on each for about 30 seconds. Hold for 30 seconds. Static stretching is all about the hold. So think about touching your toes, that would be a static stretch. If you're going arm over the chest, that's a static stretch. Anything that's really holding or not requiring any kind of other engagement with movement, right? Not really any core activation. So that said, I'm gonna run you through a couple variations that I like that are different than the stereotypical touch your toes and put your arm over your chest. So I'm gonna find a mat, my little handy dandy mat. We're gonna get on the ground and then get to cooling down. I'm a freaking poet, and I didn't know it. All right, so number 1, you've probably seen this before. We're gonna go with a butterfly stretch. But I want you to really emphasize with this butterfly stretch, holding the toes, we're gonna pull your toes towards you. Sometimes we hear people talk about pushing your knees out. Well, I want you to think about this movement right here. So we've got our feet close together. We're gonna pull our toes up. That's going to help engage your groin, but it's also going to lock your shoulders down and back into place. So when you do that, I want you to think about pulling this chest up to the sky so you can feel kind of an extension through your back. I want you to take like 10 deep breaths through that, and each time with these static stretches, with each breath, you should feel yourself kind of ease into that movement and drop a little deeper into it. So here we go. After you've gone through that right there for about 30 seconds, relatively 10 deep breaths, just feeling a good stretch, we'll get into our next one, which I want to go into a tall, kneeling, single leg hamstring stretch. What you'll notice throughout these cool down movements, we're really gonna isolate. So the more bilateral stuff we do, the more we can compensate. If we isolate and go one side, we're able to really cool down on that isolated side. So this next one, we'll get into a tall kneeling position. You're gonna basically take one knee on the ground, this other leg out, on the heel, and I want you to think about this. If you stay here, I want you to think about pushing this hip back and leaning over that hamstring. That'll allow you to grab this hamstring. If you need to put your hand on the ground, that's okay. And you're just gonna pull that toe towards you. Breathing through it. Again, just a different way to touch your toes. Probably going to allow for a deeper stretch. Again, with each breath falling into it a little deeper. And we'll switch sides just so you see what it looks like from a different angle. Again, starting the toe up. I'm not picky about this back toe, whether it's up, in, or relaxed. We'll relax it for these purposes. Hand on the ground if you need, same side reaching. If you want to, you can even opposite reach. It's going to allow for a little bit more lat activation in this arm. So we'll do that for demonstrational purposes here. Big deep breaths. And into our next one, we're going to do a hold pigeon pose. So take a pigeon pose hold. So we're going to be in a high plank position right here, hands under the shoulders, just to start, to get yourself set up. You're going to take this leg down, kind of bend that knee. You're going to be on kind of your outside of your leg. Literally going to take down to your elbows and just hold this position. You're going to feel a really good stretch up through this glute, all the way to the top of what we call the piriformis. It's a great stretch to open up your hips, but also cooling down here with the hold. Again, really want you to think about that breath, and each breath falling down into it just a little bit more. You'll feel it loosen up. If you can't bend all the way down there, I'm okay with you using your hands if you want to kind of take them at this angle to hold your body up. You're still going to feel that stretch. If you're able to go down, you're just going to be able to push your hips back again. Supporting yourself as a modification will help you just as much to feel that stretch through the glute. Still focusing on the breath. After you've completed that third exercise on both legs, we will go into a child's pose. The child's pose, I want you to think about those toes being pointed. You're going to take your bum back to your heels. You're going to walk your hands out as far as you can. Now, something you need to think about right here, a lot of people ask, like, hey, how do I stretch or cool down my biceps or my triceps? Well, those are considered smaller muscle groups, right? Our bigger muscle groups are going to be our quads, our glutes, our shoulders, our lats, and those are, our biceps and triceps are just an extension of our lats or shoulders. So stretching the shoulders and the lats at the end is also going to help you with those triceps and biceps. So again, coming out here as far as you can, kind of use your fingers to push yourself back, get to a good, nice stretch where you feel the elongation and stretch through that lat and the armpit area. Keep it here, same idea, big breaths. Sink into it. After child's pose, we'll go into one more variation of child's pose. As I told you, instead of going arm over the chest, this is going to be similar. We're going to be stretching that T-spine and kind of the back of our shoulder. So we're going to be in that same child's pose position, except we're going to go single-sided. So you're still going to get that stretch again from the lat. But I want you to take this other arm, reach through, and kind of use the ground to push your shoulder in. If you want to look down and follow it with your hand, you can. If you want to look the other way and really press into that shoulder, you're going to feel a great stretch through the back of that deltoid. And again, just falling into it, feel your arm go into the ground more and more. It felt kind of awkward just talking to the ground with my forehead in there. Now I'm just awkwardly staring at you through my armpit. Get some good deep breaths in there, 30 seconds at least. And then you will switch sides. Again, this is what it will look like from this side. Hips back, really reaching. Rest the head down. And once you finish up with that, that is pretty solid for a little 5 minutes, however long it takes you, cool down at the end of your workout. So again, using the cool down at the end of the workout is going to help you recover, it's going to help those muscles just do what they need to do in order to maximize your results right? So dynamic stretching before, you can check out that video on my page, cool down stretching at the end. But with that said, my friends, that is all I have for you. If there's other warm-ups, maybe more exercises for cool down or warm-up that you want to see, let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you're the first one to see my videos. To look at you with me, that's the end of my sales pitch on YouTube. I will see you next time. Have an awesome freaking day.